Right, hello everyone, my name's Lee Watts and today I'm going to be talking about the RTI Arms Mora Sniper. Now, first things first, without showing you too much straight away to get a bit of a build up going, I just want to talk about the case that you get with this rifle. Now, I've had this rifle now for a month or so, and as many of you know, you get a case for a gun and most of the time they become obsolete. You can't use them, they don't fit everything in, you can't even get your scope in it properly. With this rifle you get an absolutely brilliant heavy duty case. It's got wheels on the bottom, it's got heavy duty locks here at the front, good handle, and really does hold the rifle well. So I'll open her up for you and show you. Lovely solid case, you look at that, absolutely everything in there. I have the rifle, the scope, slugs, rangefinder, suppressor, you've got pellets, you've got everything. So first things first is a well done to RTI Arms for including such a good heavy duty case, because you don't need to then spend more money, which is a good plus point. Let's move my slugs out of the way, talk about what it likes soon. So right, without further ado, I'm going to show you the rifle. So this is the RTI Arms Sniper 700mm barreled version with the 700cc bottle and the M-lock guard down the bottom. Now, I opted for this version because I wanted the rail, whereas if you get the, I think it's a 1.1 litre big boy bottle, you can't have the same rail on, and for me that's plenty of air anyway. I'm sure you agree, just looking at that rifle, that if looks are anything to go by, you'd think this rifle is just going to be brilliant, and it really is. It does shoot as good as it looks. So I'm going to give you a little rundown from the back to the front of just a few of its key points and features, and then later on take you down the field and show you some groups at probably 100 metres up to maybe 200, depending on the weather and time. So starting from the rear, you have your butt pad. Now with the butt pad, this can be removed and it just slots in this ingress silver plate at the back. Hopefully you can see that all right. You do have an adjustable hammer at the back, which I say it's adjustable, you don't need to touch because that's actually assisted, so I'd leave the hammer well alone. You can maybe fine tune by 1mm, 2mm, but you really don't need to. And from experience, you can end up blowing an O-ring out the back if you adjust it too far. So I highly recommend to any of you new Mora users, and this is the new generation of the Mora, that you just leave that well alone. It really does not need to be tampered with, in my opinion. So there you go, that's what that's for. Rubber butt pad just goes on the back. I'm going to leave that off just for the purposes of the video. At the bottom of the gun, you've got a rail ingress there, which has M-lock slots so you can put anything you like. And as you can see, I've incorporated a little monopod on mine using a tiny little Picatinny rail. So that can just flick out, and I've got a lovely bit of a stable platform there. It's a lovely touch by RTI again, knowing that people are going to want to add a little accessory like that. Leave that there, not folding back in. Oh, there we go, wrong button. So also, if you look, hopefully you can see closely, you have little holes dotted around the rifle. Little holes all over. And these are called witness holes. Now these witness holes are a very clever thought out process from RTI again, because they actually correspond with certain O-rings around the rifle. So if you do get the unfortunateness of a leak, which highly unlikely with this rifle, knowing the build quality, you could just do a bit of a leak detector spray on the witness holes, and that will actually tell you exactly which O-ring it is without the need of stripping the whole gun in search of a possible O-ring that's failed. So again, another lovely touch, and something that I think will come in handy should the problem arise. You have the safety catch on the side, which is just a flick up and down to go around to fire or safe. You have trigger adjustment here, so you've got your first stage and your second stage adjustment. But I'll tell you what, out the box, this trigger is absolutely phenomenal. Whether or not they all come exactly the same, I'd like to think they do. But it's got such a soft, light first stage and then a crisp, nice break on the second stage. It's absolutely perfect, and I've just had no need to change it whatsoever. So again, one of the best triggers I've actually used. And if you've been a user of the old RTI P2s, the Priests, always had great triggers, and that's not gone any away from this as well. I'll touch more on the trigger and its adjustment shortly, but it is a fully adjustable trigger. So it's got the normal height adjustment on the trigger stem, and you can actually move it backwards and forwards. On the top here you get a lovely cheek piece. If you can see that there, I'm going to turn it like that for you, just so you can see that. You've got a lovely cheek piece there, which is actually curved nice and smooth on your cheek and doesn't catch them annoyed beard hairs if you've got any, that some of them do. So yeah, it's lovely. You can just adjust these screws here to get your height just where you want it. So lovely cheek piece, spot on, and you can get it nice and spot on for your eye relief and your cheek piece there. It's good. Very, very pleased with that, and no need to change it with an aftermarket one. Actually, I'll keep you that way around. It's going to be easier for you. Hopefully you can see. Now, at the back here, I'm going to try and put you at an angle like that. You have your regulator pressure gauge. So you've got your regulator pressure gauge there. You've got an air drain thing there where you just undo the Allen and that will release all of the air. And you've got a valve adjustment here. Now this does your dwell time. So what you want to do is just play with that to get your dwell time correct, and it all comes down to a bit of fine tuning. I'll touch on the tuning side of it, what I like to do after this video, but that's your adjustable valve right there. Going forward, you've got your cocking arm. Now this is smooth as butter, literally nothing to it. You get to there, that's cocked, absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to pull the trigger down and decock the rifle, and that's it, done. But lovely smooth. And what they've done is change the design slightly so that the cocking arm now doesn't cover the air pressure gauge, which is a nice little touch. They've made it a lot smoother. It was smooth anyway, but that extra bit that they've added has just made it such a different cocking experience at the back, and it's nice that you can see the gauge at all times now. So as RTI are always doing, they're always changing and making things better, which really you can't moan about. That's what you want from a company. You want them to notice issues or things that can be improved on, and that's what they do. Going forward, you'll notice, in fact, we'll go to the top here. You've got this lovely rail, big Picatinny rail at the top, which is adjustable from 20 MOA all the way to 150. Adjustment on the screws at the side means you can really tilt that scope to how you want it to get more distance with your scopes. I've opted for the Eagle Vision scopes on this, which are also adjustable, but the 20 MOA for me is perfect and doesn't need any change at all. Now, as you'll see, it's got a very, let's move this back a slight bit, very big shroud. Now this shroud, not only does it look good, but it houses the RPB barrel, which has a 1 in 20 twist rate, and it absolutely loves slugs and pellets. It's brilliant. Underneath that barrel, the shroud, on the barrel is a monocore design, which does absolute wonders for silencing the rifle and dispersing the air. But with that extra thick tube on here, the shroud, you don't even need a suppressor, a moderator. It's quite enough without it. But if you did want to put one on, you do get one with it, which is called a Hush 50, just screws on the end. To take the barrel off the shroud, you remove this end cap and it'll all come off in the one to reveal the barrel. Now, as you'll see, I've got the 700cc bottle with the M-LOK guard. That's enough air for me. You can get the 1.1 litre version, but then you can't fit the same rail. And I wanted the rail for my tripod and my bipod. Quick spin round. Here you have the Foster fill port. You get a little cover for it. That's where you fill your rifle. I won't talk too much about that. You all know how to fill your gun. Just a quick one on the barrel that I've just missed. You've got an option here to have this piece here, which is like a bolt. You can put an Allen key through there and take that off to have a truly free floating barrel, or you can have it fixed. Now I won't lie to you, I've not experimented with it free floating or any different to what I got it is as factory, because the accuracy is so good I don't see the need to change it, and also it's a nice solid barrel that's not moving, and that's how I like it. So there's always the options to mess with that as well if you want to investigate further accuracy ideas. So yeah, it's worth looking at that if you want to just experiment. Going round, you'll see here, that's your regulator adjustment. Now it's clockwise to make it higher and anti-clockwise to lower it. And what I advise to do is just take a few shots, 3 or 4 shots after each adjustment, just to let things settle. I've noticed one of my mates, he's got one of these and he was adjusting it, shooting, not happy. It takes a while for things to settle. So on every adjustment you make, take the time to take a few shots, let things bed in before you do another adjustment, because you'll end up chasing your tail somewhat. Right, I think that's everything. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. Now, going back to the tuning process, I've worked with this rifle for a good month or so now, and I can honestly say it's so pellet and slug unfussy, if that's a word. It's just not fussy at all with either of them. It absolutely loves slugs. This is designed for high power slugging, and that's exactly what it does, and it does it very well. It will shoot pellets no problem, and it does. I've tried them, absolutely perfect, but this is, for me, is a slug gun. For tuning, what I like to do is, as I touched on earlier, I left the hammer well alone, and all I did was wind this assisted valve all the way out, get the valve to come all the way out, and then I up the reg 5 bar at a time. Take a few shots, like I said, let things settle, and repeat until I get to the speed that I want to be at. Now I'm shooting the Zans at 995. I went slightly over with the reg to get it just to about 1005, and then I used the front valve to just bring that in. So what I did was bring the valve in a little turn, take a few shots, bring it in again, take a few shots. I repeated that process until the speed just started to drop. So I got it to 995 and just backed it out slightly, and that was it, perfect. And as you'll see hopefully on the videos later, the accuracy is phenomenal. 100 meters sub MOA, it's easy. It's an out and out slug gun, and I couldn't be more impressed with it. Do anything I dislike about the rifle? So dislikes, I've got one thing that I don't like, and I'm an honest guy, and that is the butt pad. The butt pad sits on this little recess here, but when you stick it in your shoulders every now and again and you move and stuff, it can come off, and the odd time I have had to retrace my steps to find it. So my only gripe is the butt pad. Everything else I'm so impressed with, and it's a keeper. So there you go, guys. I hope I haven't waffled too much. I've tried to just get through things and tell you what it's all about, but that's the RTI Arms Mora Sniper. It's a phenomenal gun if you're looking for something to shoot slugs or pellets, but in my opinion, high-powered slugs, if you want a high-powered slug rifle that's accurate, consistent, with a solid, good barrel, the Mora Sniper. Now, I say the Sniper, you just get a bit more power. I have had the Compact, also a brilliant rifle. They all do it. The Standard, the Compact, the Sniper are all brilliant slug guns. I went for the Sniper just because I wanted that extra weighted and extra runway for the bigger slugs and a higher power, but that's what I got it for, long range work. So there you go, RTI Mora Sniper. Let's go and show you what it can do. Cheers everyone. Right guys, so I've gone down the field. I've got a target out at 50 meters where I'm just going to check zero. Then I've put the gong out at 100. So we'll start at 50, just a quick zero check. Little group, make sure we're on. And then I'm going to show you a nice sub MOA group at 100 with the RTI Mora Sniper. Now, for filming and to show you what's going on, I'm going to be using an Eagle Vision side cam system. Now this has a universal mount on the back, well on the front should I say, that you just open up and close onto the end of your scope. I've got a GoPro Hero 10 and I've got the Eagle Vision upgraded lens in there, which is a must for me. This will show on the filming exactly what it can do, but for anyone looking for a scope cam system, don't look any further than one of these, and believe me, I've been through them all. I'm not going to go through them all and slate any of them because they've all got their good points and their bad points, but for overall best one, look no further. So here we go. I'm going to put this on the scope, get it all set, and then show you some 50-metre groups and then out to 100. Right guys, so the first shot then, 50 metres with a Mora. May need to zero, so you might have to bear with me. Let's see. Wow, another tester. This hasn't been shot for over a month, and that's not far out, and I've carried it by the scope and all sorts. There you go guys, zeroed. Not going to mess about at 50. That's zeroed at 50 metres. Let's go out to 100. Alright guys, I'm going to go out now to, it's 102 metres I've ranged, but it's close enough, 100 metres. So let's see what we can do with the Mora. Alright, 102 metres. Lay down, trigger. So that's my dog, guys, not talking to the gun. Right. Where should we go? Go down the bottom. That's it. There you go. So that's 5 at 102 metres, all on the same spot pretty much. I'd like to say that's a sub-MOA group straight off the bat there. First shot I took, I double loaded it, so it went in the mud before, so that's why that happened. But 102 metres, let's go and have a look. There we go, 102 metres, RTI Mora, 5-shot group. I've got small hands, by the way, my thumb. Shame about the lower one, but that's less than an inch, guys. I want my little finger, it's tiny. There you go. So now what I'm going to do is move it round, go a bit further. If we can see, the sun's making it a bit awkward because the sun's right above me just there. So I'm going to go out there and try and hit 150, 200 metres. Right guys, 198 metres. I've got any battery left, a little bit. 198 metres. I can't see a lot through the scope. The farmer's got a fire going, so it's a bit iffy over there. What I'm going to do is aim at the bottom, do a 5-shot group, and we'll have to walk down and have a look. Hit. 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 Let's go and have a look. Oh. Right guys, nearly there now. Let's see what we've got. There should be 5 and 1 shot on its own. And that was because I took one off video just to get my turret half right. There we go. So ignore that one. That was my first one. But that's not too bad at 200. 1, 2, 3, 4. Had a low one. That's a shame. That might have been a flyer, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not bad at all. I was aiming this going ever so high. So I was aiming down here. So obviously need to just sort my ballistics out, which I knew anyway, because I've had the scope off and been doing a bit of tampering lately. So there we go. That's not bad. It's a shame about that one. I took that one before, so I'm not bothered about that one. But 4, 5. If that had been there, I'd have been buzzing with that. But as you can see, the potential is brilliant. That could have easily been just a flyer. Could have been my first shot, my last shot. I don't know, after my fill up of air. Sometimes things get tight after a fill, but keeping it real, guys. There's nothing doctored here. I'm showing you what the gun's doing out the box, been tuned, down the field, 50 metres, 100 metres, 200. There you go. Alright, so there we go everyone. That's the RTI Arms Mora Sniper, and that was shooting 45 grains and slugs. Now I think you'll agree this really is the full package. Lovely hard case, 2 magazines, moderator, all the features that this gun's got, and it's an out and out slugger, as you could see from that video. Now just to touch on them groups were, as I've come down here, I've driven down here, put the camera on and took the shots. 50 metre zero, 100 metre group, and then 198 metres. Unfortunately one shot let us down there with a low one on the 200, but that's shooting, and I like to keep things as real as possible so you could see what I'm actually doing is real and not doctored. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think you'll agree that the Mora really is the full package, and if you're after an out and out slug gun, look no further than the RTI Arms Mora. Cheers everyone.